Oh, okay. Welcome in, everybody. We are gonna get this going. It is 1 o'clock. I'm pretty sure. Yep. Right on the dot. I'm doing good. Right. Right on the dot. 1 o'clock. Let's go. I haven't been live in almost a little bit under a week. I haven't been live for a while. My apologies, guys. I have not only been working my butt off. I went to the college to secure the room, see what I was dealing with when I had my live event, where I'm gonna have live streaming cameras at, things like that, talking to IT. Also, um, also my kid got sick, hand, foot, and mouth, whatever's going around the school. So that's just awesome, isn't it? And then I gotta deal with people from work. So it's just been a fantastic week. I'm sorry that you guys haven't seen me for a while. I know I usually do um a lot of work for you guys, and I'm gonna get back on the grind. I've just been in a lot of pain as well because my back. I mean, it's really been rough. But I'm getting through it. It is what it is, bro. I'm just trying to get this stuff done. I think that should be good enough for that. I don't know. All right, let's go. What's up, Danielle? Welcome in. Sorry, guys. Like I said, all right. Let me preface this. We're gonna get back to what Candace Owens has been up to. God bless everybody. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Again, the reason why I was gone is because my kid got sick, and then I've been working a lot, and then I had just went to the college as well. Seen the room, locked it in, talked to IT about them being there for the event so we don't have any bull crap. What's up? Welcome in, Shay Boy. Welcome in, everybody who is a part of the See Me Now family. Welcome in. God bless you guys. I'm glad to be back. I feel good. I feel great. I love it when I get up on here to not only debate, but seek for the truth and talk to my people, man. Straight up. Talk to my family. I love you guys. I hope everybody's been having a fantastic week. It is Friday. That means it is the weekend, and you guys get a whole lot of me this weekend. I love you guys. Make sure you guys double tap that screen, get those likes up. Let's get in the algorithm. Hit those little emotes on the side. God bless everybody. Let's run into it. Much love, everybody. Let's go. This is what Candace Owens has been up to the past few days. I haven't been able to cover it, but I've been watching it. I did not watch this one, so it will be a authentic reaction. But again, my bad, guys. I didn't mean to take like a 4 or 5 day break, but hey, man, family comes first. My kid was sick. I've been going to chiropractor. My back's been bad. I went to the college to see the room I'll be speaking in on October 3rd. Next Friday, I'll be speaking from 7 to 8:30 there live to the student youth and everybody else. So God bless everybody. Let's get into this video, and we'll talk more about it later. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Make sure you double tap that screen. It only takes 2 seconds to double tap the screen and show some love and support. God bless everybody. Have a fantastic time on this stream. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're with me. I love you.
It is Wednesday, and I have a lot for you today because you're not going to be surprised to hear that the FBI is FBIing. That's what they do. And that's what they want to happen with the Charlie Kirk case. Of course, this was inevitable. I got to tell you all about that. Also, I want to open up to you guys about this overwhelming sense of doom that came over me about 10 days prior
double
to
tap that screen, guys. Let's try and get to 15 likes right off the rip. I just need 12 more beautiful people to double tap the screen. Let's get in the algorithm. Let's get it
popping. The FBI is traveling, trying to shut this case down. And it is also somewhat related to another explosive story that I have for you today, because do you remember Thomas Matthew Crooks? Probably not, because oddly, the feds told us that, hey, don't even worry about that 20-year-old who got up on a rooftop and tried to assassinate President Donald Trump, right? That story just got buried. Well, today we have some exclusive information about him, never before seen footage of Matthew Crooks, and it's going to be just the beginning of our coverage regarding what we know. So welcome back to Candace.
I love her intro, man. She's such a beautiful girl. Let me know what you guys got planned for the weekend down below, man. Thank you for being here with me today. Double tap that screen, man. We just need 12 more beautiful people, God-loving people to double tap their screen. Punch me in the face if you want. Let's try to
Okay,
get to
so
15
let's start with
likes.
the breaking news. I don't even know if it's considered breaking news when it comes to the feds. Like, I don't think it's breaking news. I think it's just the news. This is what they do. Well, I have it now on a very well placed authoritative source that the FBI is putting an absurd amount of pressure right now on the authorities in Utah and also the rest of the government in Utah to come out and to say that the Charlie Kirk case is closed. They want it over. They want Charlie's assassination to be officially ruled lone gunman.
So am I tripping? Like, they are rushing way too quick to try and end this, like, for sure, dude. Not only that, but what about the autopsy? What about all this other stuff? What about the fact that the bullet didn't even, like, apparently he had bones of steel. Like, a lot of stuff is kind of crazy in this situation, and it's crazy that they think we're gonna be blind about it. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I think the government and everybody else has been way too sloppy for too long, and everybody's waking up, and everybody's gonna start seeing that, "Hey, man, it ain't what they say." And I hope everybody in here does a lot of research and educates himself on a lot of things. Stay awake, guys. Double tap that screen, man. We got 140 people up in here. Make sure you guys double tap that screen. Just show some motherfucking love. Double tap the screen with your thumb. Get the likes up. Let's try and hit 50 likes right off rip. Let's go. You got me for an hour and a half. Let's go. I love you guys.
It was a lone gunman that did that. Nobody else is involved. Now, why would they? Why would they want that? Right? What are they saying, at least to the authorities? Are they saying, like, this is the reason? And I'm sure they're not coming out and being honest or saying something that might ring truer to us, the public, which would be them saying, well, we know who did this and we want to protect those people. So close the case. What they're actually saying instead is essentially, if you don't close the case against Charlie Kirk and rule it a lone gunman, then it might mess up our prosecution against Tyler Robinson. That feels a little bit to me like moral blackmail. Hey, man, we're not hiding anything, but we've got this guy, Tyler Robinson. If you don't close this case, then it might harm our chances of locking this guy up. Yeah, I'm sure. I am sure that they are being just moral. I'm sure they're telling the truth to the authorities. Now, I want to remind you guys, we should take a look at their current case against Tyler Robinson to see if we should accept this narrative, because currently there is absolutely no video which shows Tyler Robinson firing the weapon or even taking aim at Charlie Kirk. In fact, the individual who filmed the footage of the shooter on the roof, the lone video that exists of the shooter on the roof, also told me that he doesn't think that Tyler Robinson is the guy. So, how's that going to work for an eyewitness account? When he reported the shooter on the roof to Utah on the campus, he was clear that the person was wearing an entirely different outfit than the ones that they're currently trying to claim that Tyler wore on that day. Remember, Tyler was just supposed to be wearing a t-shirt and some jeans.
Double tap that screen,
He
guys.
says
Much
no,
love to
he
everybody.
was
Let's
in
try and get to
tactical
50
gear. The
likes right
person that
off
I
rip.
saw
You
was in
guys got me
tactical
for
gear.
an hour and a half. I
Also,
love you
that
guys.
eyewitness told me that that gun doesn't even match what I saw. And like I said, this individual definitively has experience with guns. He teaches people how to fire guns. So, according to him and what he observed, if he's going to be brought into this court case that they're saying they want to, they want to bring charges against Tyler, he's going to testify and say, no, that doesn't look like the gun. That doesn't look like the person. So, how's this going to work? Also, according to the individual that told me this regarding the feds trying to push for this case closure, the feds don't even have any footage that explains how exactly the rifle in particular got onto the roof. That stuns me. That's stunning information, right?
To me, there was no rifle on the roof. I mean, come on, guys. To me, there was just not one. Like, I mean, where was it when he jumped down? I mean, multiple experts, multiple military people, multiple people who know how to bring down or break down the gun have said that there's no way that he had it on the roof, broke it down, brought it down, whatever. That's just the theory. Much love to everybody. Say what's up in the chat. Shout out where you are. I love you guys. Much love to everybody. Double tap that screen. We got 324 beautiful God-loving people in here. Jesus is king. First of all, before we say anything, Jesus is king. I love you guys. Double tap that screen. It only takes 2 seconds to double tap with your thumb. Get the likes up. Show some love and support. Jesus is king. I hope everybody's having a blessed Friday. I hope you guys are gonna have a blessed weekend. Hopefully you guys got days off. Hopefully you can take it easy, rest easy with your kids like I'm gonna. Jesus is king. God first, family second, work and the truth third. Let's go.
Because all we have is, well, in the indictment, he dropped onto the roof at 12:15 p.m. Tyler Robinson just dropped onto the roof. I guess in our minds, we assumed on the basis of the picture that they released the sole picture or set of pictures from the same moment of him walking up the stairs. We assumed that he, like I said, stanky legged it, the whole stanky leg all the way up onto the rooftop. That was our perception. But it turns out, according to my source, they don't know how the rifle got onto the roof. That's interesting. How are we bringing this to trial? Now, regarding the bullets, the source says that it was too fragmented to match Tyler's rifle, so they don't have even the bullet. And let us not forget that Tyler himself has not confessed to
Agreed,
anything.
Nitro.
And that part also didn't make sense. He said they brought him in. Bill Ackman puts up $1 million. Tyler's dad
But I do love
gets
Candace.
the sheriff friend to come over, and they say he did it. And the police come and they bring him in. They bring Tyler Robinson in, but Tyler Robinson doesn't confess. So how did you arrest him? Does that make sense? How could you make an arrest if you didn't have a confession? You would have to have evidence, and the evidence can't be trust my dad, bro. You can't, if I just bring in a random person, if I say, oh, look, Skylar just committed this crime, and Skylar says, no, I didn't, and he doesn't confess, the police can't just make an arrest. You can just arrest Skylar. Nothing is making sense.
Again, put all your guys' theories down below. I agree. I don't think that they have them. I think that there was multiple entities involved, and none of this makes sense. It's all smelly. It's very obvious. I mean, anyone who can critically think knows that this is a pretty sloppy situation. So, guys, you guys got me for the next hour and a half. Double tap that screen, man. It only takes 2 seconds. Take your fingers, double tap that screen. There's 500 of you in here. I love you guys. Jesus is king, by the way, before anything. Jesus is king. Good frequencies your way. Let's go. I'll shut up. Let's go. I love you, though.
Sense at all. It has not made sense from the very beginning. Okay. And that's because the feds are involved. And I believe the feds know exactly what happened. In fact, I don't think it's a stretch of imagination when we examine history to assume that they maybe even had some foreknowledge. Not everybody, obviously, because some people are trying to get the information out and are trying to figure out what happened. But we know that there are people.
I forgot to say this is the last thing I'll say. First of all, join the movement, hit the subscribe button with the notification bell. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. So double tap that screen, get the likes up, join the movement, man. They need to see us now. Join the See Me Now movement. Double tap that screen, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 10,000, then 20, then whatever. We're just trying to get that plaque, but let's go. Let's continue to go up. Let's continue to seek the truth. And not only that, but let's continue to have one of the most positive chat communities on YouTube, one of the most we'll say critical thinking, positive chats, whatever. I don't know. I've been working all day. My mind's there, but you know what I'm trying to say. I love you guys. Come on, double tap that screen, hit subscribe button. We're on the road to 10,000. That's all I gotta say. All right, let's go.
That are a part of that apparatus who are terrible human beings who we do not want ruling over us, and yet they do. So I'm just curious how exactly they believe they are going to convict Tyler Robinson on this. Oh, you know what? It's probably the Discord messages. I forgot. Silly
Just try and hit
me.
300 likes today, guys.
The Discord, I
300. That's
forgot
gonna
it
break
was
every
so
single one of my records.
explicit.
Jesus is
How could
king,
we
and I know we can do it. I love you
forget?
guys.
Oh, Lance, wherefore out thou, Lance? Deny thy father and refuse thy
Welcome in everybody
name.
new. I love you guys,
And
but I
with
gotta
thou
be
wilt
quiet so we
not,
can listen.
Lance,
But
the
I'm paying
bullets.
attention to your chat. Just
Me,
know I
my
love you. Hit the
handprints. It
subscribe
was
button. Join the See Me
me.
Now
It
movement.
was
Double
me,
tap
my
that screen.
love. I
Let's
did
go. I love you.
everything. I carved it. Do you remember, my love, when I was carving the bullets? Yes. Yes. Exactly this time is when I did it. And these are the reasons, my MAGA daddy, my love, thou wilt not, my love. Cool. Cool story. Very cool story, feds. Kind of feeling like Tyler's going to get off because they've got really nothing but prints. And from my sources, it's not the only set of prints that are on that gun. In fact, the only thing that I have heard that made sense, which did not come from our government, did not come from the feds, did not come from the Utah government, but rather from the people that are on the ground who believe that actually Tyler was just told to walk and drop off his gun at a neighboring
If you guys got
house.
a problem with me
That
talking, then
for
yeah, get off
some
the channel. I really
reason
don't care. You
just
guys are here
feels
to
like
watch
that
me.
might
I'm
be
trying to be
honest,
quiet,
and
but I'll
that
say what I want
was
to say,
how he
period.
participated in this event. But we'll see, because I'm not going to let this go. So we'll see if the feds tell us to just dismiss it, as they always do. Rather relatedly, something that I wanted to tell you yesterday, we had showed you a clip of Charlie discussing our friendship and how he was feeling morally blackmailed over it. And in that same clip, he mentions a very fond memory that I have, that he was there when I met my husband. And he says, it's a really fun story. And it is a fun story. It's actually a totally fun, crazy story of how I met my husband, because I had something that came over me, and that's the only way I can describe it. And I get all of the conspiracies online when people were like, there's no way her and her husband got engaged after 18 days. That's exactly how it happened. Okay. I didn't know him. I never even saw
Danielle, I'm
his
gonna
face
moderate you.
18 days prior. And
I should have a
I'm
long
with
time ago.
Charlie. We're hitting the ground running. And I'm just like, I feel compelled that we must go to the UK. It was, when I say, the most overpowering thing ever. I was like, Charlie, we got to go to the UK. We got to go to the UK. We should go to the UK. We should go to London. And he's like, man, why? Why do you want to go to London? I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like we're supposed to be there. I feel like we've got to be there for an event. And I did something that I had never done. I took Charlie Kirk's credit card, and I was like, I'm going to find flights and just book it. And then you just figure out, maybe it means we're supposed to start, Turning Point UK. If there's energy there, that was a part of his vision.
Come on, y'all. We got 620 people in here. Everybody double tap that screen. Let's try and get to 100 right away. Welcome in, Pretty P. Welcome in, Dale. Shout out North Idaho. Shout out everywhere else that's in here. I love you guys. Much love, much love, much love. If you have a problem with me talking, go somewhere else. But double tap that screen. Show some love and support. Hit the subscribe button. Join the See Me Now families. Try and hit 100 likes. Let's go. I love you guys. I'm gonna shut up. Let's go.
He wanted Turning Point to be global, and he had people that were interested in the UK. And so I'm showing you this very old text message chain from that time between me and Charlie, where I never booked flights, looked at flights, but I booked these flights. And I was like, look, the flights are dirt cheap. Remember NYC to London, $450 in coach, or $1,200 in first class. And he's like, wow, let's book it. All right. We booked the flights. And then suddenly I realized the reason that I had this overwhelming feeling to be there was because I was supposed to be my husband. And the only thing I can say is that it was an intuition. We describe it, that it had to have been God. We had just had no other reason to be there. And then Charlie set up a speaking event with some people that had been interested. And sure enough, we were there to help Turning Point UK get set up. Anyways, this overwhelming feeling I had never experienced something like that since, until about a week before, or actually, 10 days before Charlie got assassinated. And so I'm going to explain that to you, because you guys who watch this podcast might have realized something, that we took the show off air randomly for the first couple of days in September. So I will describe to you exactly what happened. There at first was a elementary school shooting that happened at a Catholic school, and I was just concerned in a way that I had never felt so impacted. And I was going, something isn't right. Something is just not right. And I felt that there was some sort of an infiltration that was happening at schools. And best way that I can describe it in a sentence is, that I sensed that the danger wasn't stopping there, and that more was coming, and that I needed to take a look at just the process of hiring people at the school that my children were going to attend. And I did just a cursory online search, and some messages I found.
Come on, guys. We have 800 people in here. Double tap that screen. Show some love and support, man. All you got to do is double tap. Try and get to 100. Let's get 50 out of these beautiful, God-loving 800 people to double tap the screen. Jesus is King. Let's go.
Which were not written by a teacher at the school, but someone who was adjacent to some teachers at the school, gave me pause for concern. In fact, explicitly what it was a Polish underground symbol, like a Polish communist underground symbol that nobody would have recognized outside of people who know what it meant. And I just sort of went, okay, that's weird. I kept looking online, and strangely, I'm not kidding, and I'm going to show you these messages, I came across what looked to me like a bunch of people talking about bees. You're going, "Candace, what do you, like, literally bees?" in a way that's the only way I can describe it. She was like, they were speaking about bees, but they weren't speaking about bees. It was very coded. And
Thank you
I'm
guys for
going,
the
am I
love and
going
support,
crazy?
man.
Or do you
Keep
think
double
that all these
tapping. I
people are
appreciate you
really
guys. I love you.
actually,
Thank you for being
quote
here. Jesus
unquote,
is king. Let's go.
bee farmers, or saying that they farm bees? What is this lingo that I'm not understanding?
Welcome in, everybody
Why
new.
do I feel like it's related to students? I didn't feel good about it at all. And I just sensed that we needed to get more involved, to go to the school, to ask about the process of hiring, to see if they needed more security. They were kind of giving up me you know, the thing that teachers do now when you ask any questions about what happens at the school, which is they make you think like, why do you want to know? Like, we just do whatever we want to do. It's like, I don't know. My children are like 5 and 4, actually. Parents should, of course, we need to be more involved. Like, how did we get here? That we feel like we're crazy for asking questions about the hiring practices at schools. And the feeling just didn't go away. I can show you this actually, because I was thinking, like, I said to my husband, there is some weird underground, it's like I sense like imminent danger is coming. And for some reason, I feel like there is an underground that has emerged at schools, and it's like related to bees. That's what I said. And I messaged multiple people about this, my sister. Here are a couple of more text messages to other people. You can look at the time frame here. This is 8:30, August 30th. This is September 1st when we went off air. September 2nd, we were off air. And I started talking about people that were discussing bees in a way that didn't make sense. I'm like, I don't know if this is drugs. I don't know what it is, but it's weird. And so in a sentence, I just said, there's imminent danger coming. Okay. It is relating to a school. I think it's a communist underground, and I don't know why, but it has something to do with bees. Totally sensible thing to say to your husband. Oh, and we need to hire more security. And we did. We hired more security that very week. And I was just frantic about it. And we made the decision that we needed to homeschool immediately, and started the process, pulled our kids out of homeschooling and starting to interview people. But it wasn't enough. Like, despite hiring more security, despite taking my kids out of school, I still had a sense of dread. The Tuesday night, the night before Charlie got assassinated, I had book club, and I felt like I needed to emphasize to people in book club that it was time to take their kids out of school. Like, take your kids out of school. Something danger is happening right now. And I'm going to show you a clip. Obviously, this is all behind the paywall of what I said to people that are in the book club. Take a listen. I'm homeschooling my kids. I'm so excited. I'm like very excited. I'm embarking on this recent decision. And it is just, I feel, I can't explain to you when a weight got lifted off of my shoulders, because I was like, I can't just speak about this. Like, we have to do it and show people that it can be done. And I'm so glad that my sister was who did it first, because I was like, my sister, it was very difficult for her to do this. She's got to wake up super early, but seeing her do it made me go, my older sister, I was like, what is wrong with me? Of course I can do this. And again, this weight being lifted off of my shoulders of like, you don't get my kids. This whole system, this whole matrix, got to send your kids to school so we can what? Indoctrinate them mentally. In some schools, there's abuses that are happening. Like, and I just have to take the risk and give you my child, like my small child, and then you're gonna gaslight me. This is what happened actually. I was like asking the school
Come on, guys.
basic
Double tap that screen. We
questions,
got
like, because I was going there to
1.1
put them in
thousand
like,
here. Let's try and get to
little
300
daycare
likes, man.
program,
We just need everybody in
pre-K
here. All the
program. And like, I was like,
God
ask
loving,
questions like, how do you
Jesus loving
hire
people
people?
in
And they were
here.
like, you don't get to
Double tap
ask
that
those
screen, guys. Let's get those likes
questions.
up. I'm
What's wrong
demonetized.
with
The only
you,
reason why I
huh?
ask is let's
Are
get in
you
the
so
algorithm. Let's
scared?
continue to try and grow.
Oh,
I get
okay.
remonetized in October.
Bye-bye.
Let's run it up.
See you never.
God bless you guys.
Don't
I
make me
appreciate you
think
guys
that
for
I'm
being
weird for
here.
being a mom.
Jesus is king. If
Okay.
you got a problem with me
Don't
speaking, then
make
go
me
somewhere
believe
else.
or try
I do not
to
care. This is my channel. You're here for me.
sell to me
And
this
I try to be
idea
quiet, but I'm
that
just
we're
letting you
sharing
know.
these kids.
Join the
These
See
are
Me
your
Now
students,
family
these are
because you
my
have to
kids.
see
And
us
if you don't
now. Double
understand
tap that
that,
screen,
then they can't
and
be your
Jesus is king.
students. That's it. That was on September 9th. Okay. Then came September 10th. Obviously, Charlie lost his life. And a few days later, I was told, and I sensed instantly that there was like a hive of people that were involved in this. I just knew it. And when it happened, I just went, oh my goodness. And my gut is telling me that this was the thing, that the dread that I sensed that was coming out of school. And I had no idea. I am not a flag person at all. And then someone told me, and I was astonished that Utah recently, extraordinarily, did modernize their B flag. I had no idea that the Utah state flag is a hexagonal beehive, right? And unbeknownst to me, that it has always been the beehive state. So in 2024, they modernized their flag. but they've always been known as the beehive state. And to be clear, it's not because they make honey. It's not because they have a high presence of bees. In fact, in terms of making honey or bee related products, they rank number 24. It's actually the beehive state. It relates to the Mormon church, the Church of Latter-day Saints. Early Mormon pioneers founded that state, and they liked the idea of a beehive working toward a common good. Now, if that sounds vaguely familiar or communist to you, the idea of worker bees, yes, that's where it's from. So this sort of doom that I had about an underground happening, I was just like totally freaked out. It's a Soviet symbol, like the idea of making everybody into a worker bee. And whether you're on the left or the right, you should understand where the public school system comes from. Okay. It is shaped by Soviet ideology. I tell people a must read book is Inside the American Education System by Thomas Sowell. It is not left or right. He is just telling you how it all came together, the decline, the deception, the dogmas, and how they are programming our children. You cannot unread that book after you read it because you realize there's no such thing as being too hawkish. They know how to get things in there and how to pull children away from their parents as it was designed in the Soviet system. Okay. Kindergarten, you're like, where does that word even come from? Well, it was established by the communists that tried to overthrow Germany and failed in 1848. Margaret Schurz's her family came here, and those same communists wanted to make sure that they established kindergarten access to children. They then fought to make sure that we federalized the education system. These are the same people that pushed to make it so that homeschooling is not a thing, right? Like I said, the very reason they wanted to establish public education is because it is essential for radical ideology. They understand something that I think that we have maybe forgotten, which is that children are the most precious resource. The reason for that is because they are the future. One way or another, children are the future. Okay. After Charlie's assassination, that feeling still did not dissipate. Okay. I understood the imminent doom that I felt that was almost crippling was clearly related to that event. But I just know that all of these random lone shooter narratives that are being intentionally, what we're being told that they're just lone shooters and then we don't really know anything else. I just feel it spiritually that these people are being programmed. And perhaps that is the reason why more often than not, they are being protected by our government. In other words, it is positively foolish for us to believe that the government just cannot tell us anything about these assassins. They wipe everything and they tell us nothing. Why would they do that? Yeah, and that guy, they're always working alone. There's no online history that we can reflect on. What are you talking about? Which brings me to Thomas Matthew Crooks, because that's exactly what we were told or not told when on July 13th, 2024, a 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks climbs onto a roof and tries to assassinate President Donald Trump. Gratefully, Donald Trump did not die, but tragically, one of his supporters did. Okay. A 50-year-old firefighter named Corey Comparatore lost his life trying to save his children. And then we were told virtually nothing. In fact, we were, and I'm laughing here because it's so absurd. We were told Iran did this. What? Because they were all itching for war with Iran. Like they're still itching for war with Iran, but like that's what basically was a narrative that was established. They had some warnings that Iran was going to try to assassinate Trump. And we're going, what? Well, guess what happened? Somebody reached out to me because I have been obviously leading the forefront in investigating this lone shooter as it pertains to Charlie Kirk, because it's not a lone shooter. It's a hive. I feel it spiritually. And they said, look, actually, I had been able to scrape everything about Thomas Crooks before the feds got rid of everything. And it's shocking what you look. There is no way this person was not on the federal radar. Now, usually we go, was he on the left? Was he on the right? Because that's the bait. The bait is to make me as a conservative hate you if you were on the left. And if you were on the left, the goal is to make you hate Candace because it allows them to operate in broad daylight. The reality of Thomas Crooks is going to be a story that we should get familiar with. He was at both on the left and on the right. He actually traded sides. He started actually as a Trump supporter. I'm going to show you and again, to really impress upon.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how many of these people switch sides and finagle all this stuff. But I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for the 161 likes. Keep double tapping that screen. I appreciate all you guys in here. Almost 2,000 people. We're breaking records every single day. I love you guys. God bless. Jesus is King. Thank you for being here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're watching me. I love you guys. I'll shut up. Let's go.
On you how much this person had to be on the federal radar. I have an 80-page document, which I'm thinking I'm just going to drop on my website tomorrow after handing it over to legal, of all the accounts that he made, all the statements that he made. And he was at first very angry against the left. Like, I mean, outwardly calling for the murder of people that are on the left. And there were videos that he was posting of himself shooting with no bullets in the gun in his bedroom. I'm going to show you one of those videos that's since been scraped. Don't worry, we blurred the weapon just, to keep things above bar here. Take a look.
Bro, this guy looks like, I'm sorry, but I mean, this is wild how this guy looks. I'm gonna be quiet so I don't get canceled, but oh my god, bro, this guy out of anybody.
Now, if you're listening to this, and you are on Spotify, is essentially, or on Apple, what's essentially happening here is he's just in his room and there's no bullets in it, but he's practicing firing a weapon. And his online history, there's multiple videos that are like this, which I have. His online history shows he was extraordinarily violent. He was always calling for violence. And I can show you one of his comments that he made. This was a comment on a video, Trump humiliated on national TV. And he wrote to someone, haha, that's funny because I always believed being patriotic was lining up a bunch of socialist Jews like the ones that booed Trump and blasting their useless brains out with an AR. Well, to each his own. I mean, that's unbelievably violent. Again, another comment where he was commenting on a YouTube video. He wrote, I've noticed a lot of liars talking about the truth in this post. Well, let me tell you some truth. Every one of the Trump hating Democrats deserves to have their heads chopped off and put on stakes for the world to see what happens when you F with America. So you go, okay, this guy was a Trump supporter. Then he does a radical transformation around 2020. And this had something to do with COVID. He got very angry at Trump and he was outwardly saying things where people were reporting them on YouTube being like, this guy is absolutely insane. He is a maniac. He's a maniac. He was a maniac who was obsessed with Trump one way or the other. And then he went very much, obviously, which is the reason why he tried to assassinate him post-COVID. He just starts going completely crazy and he is explicitly researching on Google the history of these assassinations. I can show you his search history here. Leading up to this, he searched best places for a mass shooting. Here are some of his other Google searches. I think we can just scroll down here. Yeah, okay. And this has a timeline on this. Again, I'm going to probably just post this document because you can handle the truth. He was fascinated with this stuff. He was fascinated.
Yeah, Danielle, you just gotta let him talk. I mean, I love the trolls in here, helps the algorithm, whatever. But to all the people who love Candace, and not only that, but love to find the truth and are critical thinkers and all that other stuff, and who love God, double tap that screen, man. I'm so grateful for everything. The feeling of gratitude is the best feeling in the world. I'm just so glad that every day we're united more and more on this channel. Join the movement, hit the subscribe button, join the See Me Now movement. Double tap that screen, man. Let's try and get the 300 likes. I love you guys. I'll shut up. My bad.
You can see here guns versus protesters, Orlando shooting reaction, cars running over protesters, firing an AR-15 as fast as possible, fertilizer bomb. How do you use a tourniquet? How to make a Molotov cocktail, how to make Molotov cocktails, pardon me, mixing gasoline with styrofoam, mass shooting Canada, Oklahoma bombing, sniper in Dallas shooting. You want me to believe on the basis of what I have seen that this individual wasn't on federal radar? Just wasn't on federal radar? Guys, that is a nonsense, okay? That is an absolute nonsense. And again, the other element of this is we're never going to be told what therapists he was seeing, okay? What his mom's walking in the room, he's practicing how to shoot. It's very clear what you can see in the background. He's practicing shots. They want us to believe that this just happened by accident, even though for years he was documenting wanting to harm politicians and people that were on the left and people that were on the right. Again, on the basis of everything, whether it was their race, their color, whether they were homosexual, there's something there for everyone. So what's happening here? Well, I can tell you my suspicion. I think that this is a program. I do. I don't know, but I know. You know, I don't know, but I know, because it is giving me the same ick that I had when I was looking through the period and learning the reality of what happened throughout the 1960s when MK Ultra, when that program was running. And I have no reason to believe that that program was ever discontinued. And I believe that they find these candidates in schools. I really do. I think they find these candidates in schools. And so I wanted to express.
Well, we all know that the CIA is in the schools. They are recruiting college members. And not only that, but Mormons. They love to get Mormons because they don't drink, they don't smoke. They're very patriotic, things like that. So this isn't nothing new for us to know. So
express that to you, that we once again are having a predicament, and we can trace this straight from what they did to when JFK was assassinated, where the feds are obscuring. They are using journalists to obscure. They are putting pressure on government officials. They are lying to the public about everything, except this time it's regarding Charlie Kirk, which means this time it's not going to fly, because I'm not going to allow it to. Let's take a pause here, and we're going to get to something that Megyn Kelly shared on her show about a hex that was put on Charlie Kirk, which is important for us to discuss for a variety of reasons. First, I'm going to throw to some sponsors. Riverbend Ranch, I absolutely
just with even
don't worry, I got you guys.
Through over the hurricane, people on the right who were kind of cheering on. It was very Jimmy to U.S. residents only, unfortunately. All right, guys, wanted to get to Jimmy Kimmel. He's back on air. I guess it was a little time out for Jimmy Kimmel. I was very shocked to see people on the right who were kind of cheering on his cancellation. And I'm not denying the logic of it, going, this has happened to so many people on the right, so when it happens to you, boo-hoo. I get that. But also, if we just keep playing ping pong, nobody wins. And actually, except for the government. And I think that's the reason that this sport has been created, left versus right. And Jimmy Kimmel delivered a monologue and thanked people on the right in his very Jimmy Kimmel way. And I got a shout out for saying, hey, common sense, the government should not be getting involved when it comes to speech. That's insane. We cannot cheer that on. Take a listen to his monologue.
I want to thank the people who don't support my show and what I believe, but support my right to share those beliefs anyway.
But let's be real. Who really listens to Jimmy Kimmel anymore? I mean, let me know down below.
Oh, I never would have imagined, like Ben Shapiro, Clay Travis, Candace Owens, Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, even my old pal Ted Cruz, who, believe it or not, said something very beautiful on my behalf.
I hate what Jimmy Kimmel said. I am thrilled that he was fired.
Oh, wait, no, not that. The other part.
But let me tell you, if the government gets in the business of saying,
what you can and can't say,
what you, the media, have said, we're going to ban you from the airwaves if you don't say what we like, that will end up bad for conservatives.
I don't think I've ever said this before, but Ted Cruz is right. He's absolutely right. This affects all of us, including him. I mean, think about it. If Ted Cruz can't speak freely, then he can't cast spells on the Smurfs. Even though I don't agree with many of those people on most subjects, some of the things they say even make me want to throw up. It takes courage for them to speak out against this administration, and they did, and they deserve credit for it. And thanks.
Feeling is mutual. There are some things you say that make me want to throw up as well. But it is important that we realize government overreach is government overreach. Doesn't matter who it's happening under, whether it's Biden or whether it's Trump, it's wrong. Okay. And by the way, both sides have been guilty of government overreach. So less of us taking the bait on that. I also want to say, I wanted to show you guys this clip of Megyn Kelly. It's gone pretty viral. It's everywhere.
Make sure you guys double tap that screen, man. We got 1,000 people in here consecutively. Double tap that screen. Let's try and here go with 300 likes. Anything above that is a blessing, guys. I really am grateful. The feeling of being grateful in this world is the best feeling. So Double tap that screen. Try and hit our goal of 300. Anything after that's a blessing. And then I'll shut up for the whole time. I love you guys.
Speaking about something that I did not know about, which is pertaining to a hex and a curse that Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk were worried about. It's kind of a very shocking story. And I just want to preempt this by saying that for those of you that don't understand that this is a spiritual war that we are fighting, you might have been like me years ago, and I refer to us as the Muggles. Of course, there are people who believe in all of this stuff, and there are people who put spells on people, and they are meaningful. They follow numerology, and it's serious. That is serious, and you think that it's not because they have made our society so plastic and there's no substance anymore, and we are so distracted. But these people who rule over us, okay, they know who they worship. They know they worship Luciferianism. And so I was very alarmed that this had happened. And I honestly had wished that Charlie had reached out to me, even though they did end up consulting a Catholic priest. I didn't expect, I wish I could have given them the exact person. But take a listen to how Megyn Kelly shares what happened, a curse that was put on Charlie just before he went out to UVU.
I learned when I was out in Arizona last week that 2 weeks before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the far-left website Jezebel declared that it had a mission to cast bad luck or a curse on Charlie. They wanted to hurt him in some way. They declared, quote, if the far-right misogynist with a bad haircut wants to villainize independent women, Jezebel is more than happy to be the hag of his nightmares. And they went on to the website Etsy, yes, Etsy, to, quote, cast a curse on him. Yes, this is actually a thing. Etsy, the website known for making arts and crafts on demand, will happily cast a hex through its witches, who you can hire, on someone if you ask them to. Erica and Charlie Kirk heard about these curses. And that news genuinely rattled Erica in particular. She knew Christian teaching on this subject. She loved Charlie, absolutely. And she was scared when she heard of the curses Jezebel had called up. So much so that she and Charlie contacted a friend who I believe she said was a Catholic priest, but definitely a friend, and asked
Stanley, I
him
think that's the
to
best
come
thing
over
you've
and
or
pray
anyone
with
said in
them
the chat right now.
over Charlie the
God
night
bless you,
before
Sky.
he was murdered. She eventually worked it through, and so did Charlie. That, as she later told me, weapons will form but not prosper. That Satan and those witches have no power.
So just to add a little color to the story, I think that the people who did this and what we've learned about those women is I think they were probably people that did the hiring were probably trying to be funny. People that don't believe in spiritual forces were probably just like, LOL, it's like Vice. It's like, Vice publication. Like, I smoked a blunt and, listened to the Beatles music.
Guys, we need 65 more likes or 55 more likes to get to 300, y'all. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. God bless you guys. Or 65, y'all. Much love. Anyway, regardless, I love you guys. Thank you guys for so much support.
Music backwards. It's like they don't take that stuff seriously. So they're trying to be like, haha, funny headline, right? And the person who wrote the article about it said, I'm not calling on dark forces to cause him harm. I just want him to wake up every morning with an inexplicable zit, right? So she's probably trying to be funny, to be fair.
Thank you, JS. Make sure anyone who's in here join the See Me Now movement because they need to see us now on the road to 10K. As I said, I'm demonetized. I'm not asking for likes for money or none of that. I'm asking for likes so we can get in the algorithm. We can continue to grow. When I get monetized in October, we have built a little army over here. God bless everybody. Double tap that screen. I love everybody in the chat. I'm reading them all, but I'm going to be quiet so we can keep listening. I love you guys.
But contacted witches who are not trying to be funny. That's the problem when people don't understand that this stuff is real. That you're saying to a witch, yeah, I'll pay for you. I'm going to reach out to you to pay for you to put a curse on Charlie. And that witch did that. And it brought, obviously you can see they were distressed by this. They consulted a Catholic priest who I assume would have immediately conducted an exorcism. That probably should have been done in the Latin rite. But I feel like that's just something that people should know, because until something happens to you spiritually, you tend not to believe in these things. And like I said, that's a part of this. They very much know what religion they follow, the numbers, the numerology. It makes sense to them, the people that are in control of this world. And you should just be very cautious of that stuff. A lot of times I kind of give this example. It's like they can sell us anything as reality.
Jolin,
Like
I
we are
agree
now
with
in
you.
this culture
Because
of what
his
C.S.
bodyguards
Lewis
are
refers
definitely
to
tied
as
to
scientism. As
Israel.
long as they say like
We
it's
will be playing
science,
her
it's
next
not
video
weird,
after
then we
this.
don't
I just wanted
realize
to
it.
say
No, I
that.
think these are spiritual forces. Like if a witch was like, ha ha, here's a potion, take it. It works. You'd be like, oh, that's so crazy. I don't believe
Thank
in
you,
witch
Michael. Make
potions.
sure you
But like
guys subscribe,
a
join the movement,
doctor
join the
can
family on
create
the road to
something and it
10K.
makes you
Double
feel, and you're
tap
like,
that
oh, of
screen.
course, but
Welcome
this
to
is
the
like
family. When
backed
I
by
say that, I
science.
don't
It's
mean it
like,
lightly. This is a
okay,
family. I
by
don't
any
forget
other
any of you. I
name
try and
sort
read
of a
everything.
thing. You know what
Love
I
you guys.
mean? But this stuff is real. And I'm glad that the end result thus far of how it has impacted society to watch Charlie be assassinated, even though we don't know who exactly was behind this, we know it was more than one person, is that people are going back to church and that they had that instinct when they watched it. They suddenly realized, whoa, they got hit spiritually, even if they hadn't been to church in years. I was getting comments. I haven't been to church in 20 years. And for some reason, watching the death of Charlie Kirk made me know that I needed to go to church. That is at least one thing in this. And there have been other things that has made me very happy. Anyways, I want to make sure I have time for your comments because we do have book club tonight and I'm going to build.
All right, guys, that's the end of that video. So we are going to move on to her next video. Let's remove this and I will go to her other one, her recent one. We'll react to that and I think we'll be caught up here. She is on a hunt for the truth, man. She's not going to stop. She's going to be on here every single day and she's going to run it up. She ain't going to stop, guys. So it's going to be interesting. She's opening a whole can of worms. More like a whole can of snakes, people snaking Charlie, people, donors snaking each other, all this other stuff. It's really interesting to see, especially all the billionaires who are being exposed. They're scrambling to make a narrative because she's exposing everything. So it's going to be interesting to keep watching. Anyone who doesn't like me talking on my own channel can leave. Gladly, you can leave. It doesn't matter. Make sure you guys go ahead, double tap that screen, hit the subscribe button, and join the movement, man. Hit notification bell so you can always be part of every single stream. We have 49 more likes to get to 300 and we broke our record. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm very grateful. Welcome in everybody who's new to the channel, and the feeling of being grateful is the best feeling in the world. So Jesus is king. I'm gonna shut up. Let's get on to the next video.
All right, you guys. So a week before Charlie lost his life, he expressed some concerns about the finances at Turning Point USA. In fact, he wanted to put together an entire department, a little mini department, to address those concerns. And we have evidence of that. It is always the advice when investigating any crime to quote unquote follow the money. So let's do that just a little bit here. Plus, there is a video that has gone absolutely viral. I am sure you have seen it. It was emailed to me many times where there is a theory that is being floated that Charlie was shot from the back. Now, there are two aspects in that video that we can debunk, and I want to do that. And there's one aspect that we cannot debunk clearly. I think this is a worldwide investigation, so I want to assist wherever it is that I can. So welcome back to Candace.
Love her or hate her, she points out things that are true. And if people want to say she's not saying the truth, you can look it up. Do your own research. A lot of this stuff has came out and is the truth. So, but
there's a lot of
beyond that, no matter what, Jesus is king. Stop the division. I've always said the easiest country to conquer is a country that's divided. Who's dividing us? Look into it. I'm tired of it. Let's unite, guys. Unite under one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We need to start saying that again. Jesus is king. Double tap that screen. Join the See Me Now movement. Hit the subscribe button. On the road to 10K. We should be getting remonetized in October. If we don't, I do not care. We're going to continue to go up. And my Rumble will be on here soon. I love you guys. Let's go.
Leaking going on right now. And I've been very clear that everything in my soul has been screaming at me from the very moment that I found out that Charlie got shot, that this story is much bigger, that there just was something much bigger going on than what has thus far been presented to the public. All of the wrong people are eulogizing him. They're lying about small things, which I don't like, because why lie about small things? Only a guilty conscience of sorts lies about little things. And there are a few points that we have covered throughout the story that right away jumped out at me as odd. First and foremost, of course, Bibi Netanyahu over-inserting himself, not even just on day one, minute one. He tweeted before the president of the United States that Charlie had lost his life. That's weird. It's very weird, and we should not forget how weird that is. especially because when he went on multiple hits doing Fox News and Greta Van Sustern's show, he lied about the contents of a letter that Charlie Kirk had written him back in May. What I also don't like are the people like Josh Hammer and Seth Dillon, people that I know who are very nasty and work behind the scenes. I don't like that they have not yet been honest or forthcoming about the pressure that they and others were putting on Charlie Kirk. That just strikes me as odd. There's no reason to lie. No reason to pretend that you weren't doing that, to try to massage it and lie about it. I believe that there are lies by omission, and I view them both to be liars, okay? And of course, who could forget the word length of Bill Ackman's reply? I tell you guys about this weekend in the Hamptons. I tell you about Bibi Netanyahu calling Charlie Kirk and inviting him to Israel. And Bill Ackman replies with an essay, college essay, 959 words to be precise, was his response to me speaking about that, where he himself did not actually address my point about the quote unquote intervention, which is how Charlie described it himself, and my point about Bibi Netanyahu and the offer to take Turning Point to the next level financially. No one wants to address those points because I was being honest. People thought that Charlie's ideas were trending in the wrong direction. And by the way, regarding that now infamous weekend, the response videos that were made, which seemed like there was some sort of a PR crisis going on, the response tweets that were fashioned,
29 more likes. We're at
sort of getting funny.
27. I love you
Xavier
guys.
Xavier DeRusso was there. I had reached out to him. He had, rather than answering me, messaged me to say, I am speaking out about that weekend. He made a video where he formally addressed the weekend and explained that, yes, Charlie, and he uses the phrase moral blackmail. Charlie spoke about feeling morally blackmailed, but this was done in more of a workshop setting, essentially like it was a debate club, and they were strengthening their debates on the topic of Israel. We can take a listen to Xavier DeRusso in his own
Whoever
words.
thinks she's not credible, you guys are.
And then people are taking things out of context, because there was like in the article, the hit piece that came out, it talks about how Charlie raised up his phone and had written on Twitter, and he said something like, BB needs to resign or something like that. And he goes, what would happen if I do this? There was discourse, and then there was one woman who sat in the back who said, if you do that, you're indirectly going to empower Hamas. And then Charlie was like, see, you have to stop saying like that. He was saying that when you are debating about Israel, you need to stop doing it emotionally. You need to do it logically and factually. Otherwise, you lose the debate. He said it is moral blackmail if you say that somebody saying that a politician is bad, that you're then empowering a terrorist organization. Fair argument.
It was a fair argument, but it also was a real argument. And you kind of removed the names that were involved in this conversation. Natasha Hausdorff was there. Seth Dillon was there. And Seth Dillon was the one that was applying pressure to him. And Seth Dillon and Josh Hammer didn't jump on him in that moment. Were not happy. They were not happy with Charlie at the end of this weekend in the Hamptons because, again, they saw which way the wind.
Sounds like it's going to be like a little Netflix documentary, The Weekend in the Hamptons, or the Visit to the Hamptons, Charlie Kirk, the conspiracy, right?
Was traveling in terms of his positions on Bibi Netanyahu and Israel. And they were, in fact, being accusatory. And again, you don't have to take it in my words or Xavier's words. I've always had a friendly relationship with Xavier, but we should listen to Charlie's own words, which we have played multiple times, of what happened the day after this little weekend retreat, where he vented to Megyn Kelly his frustrations with him being wrongly labeled anti-Semitic and how it was actually pushing him away and it wasn't good for Israel. Then, and that one of the big questions that we discovered, or that we asked.
To everyone in the chat, you guys got to realize they're only going to let you see what they want you to see. That's why these billionaires are getting together trying to create a narrative, because she's opening a can of worms, and I want to say a can of snakes, because all these people that were around him seem to be snakes. You guys gotta understand that's way bigger than just a trial. I'm telling you.
Asked, and something that we had discovered was that this weekend was kept hush hush, which is extraordinarily unusual for a Turning Point event. If you're going to fly your influencers out, you want them to influence, obviously. And Xavier offered this explanation for why they didn't post about the weekend until they were rumbled about the weekend. Take a listen.
And then you have the people who are trying to go and say that, oh, then why was the meeting so secretive? The photos were already on my Instagram. The reason we didn't post that in the real time was because of safety. Do you know how many people would have loved to come and slaughter that whole hotel?
Feeling like Justin Bieber because it's not clocking for me. Like, I'm sorry. So first off, you guys never connected to Turning Point USA publicly. The photos that you posted, if you posted it after the event, I don't think that it's because you were fearful that just being a conservative in the Hamptons was going to get you slaughtered, like were there Hamas tunnels under the Hamptons? That doesn't make sense. That makes entirely no sense. And we should call out how little sense that makes, especially because one of the influencers did post on August 6th that she was in the Hamptons. Actually, Emily loves America. Emily saves America, pardon me, said when she was fighting with somebody about how little their engagement ring was during this weekend, how do you guys expect to have a house, land, and multiple kids? Be for real. Sorry, I'm MIA. I'm in the Hamptons. So are conservatives not allowed to be in the Hamptons without getting slaughtered? Or is it specifically conservative influencers? You said that it wasn't a pro-Israel event, so I guess there's no Israel angle here, which does, of course, there's tons of Zionists in the Hamptons, Blackman among them. So I don't understand. You couldn't post that you were in the Hamptons because you were going to get killed. How? I need more information there because that's just silly. And I also love the context of him doing this on PragerU's platform. I obviously worked for PragerU. I know Marissa Straight. I am looking at Marissa Straight right there, a little PR operation to address the points without actually addressing the points and to make it seem like it was nothing. And that's not the reality. You know, Marissa has always been open about the fact that she worked for the IDF intelligence. And like I said, you could sense there was a PR panic when people started speaking about the weekend. I told you guys the truth. That's it. Okay. I don't like the fact that Charlie was literally facing financial threats over his speech, the thing that mattered most to him. Right? Fighting for free speech, even if you disagreed with somebody, you got to make sure that they have a right to express their viewpoints. And what happened to me a year earlier seemed to be happening to him 1 year later. Another thing that I really do not like, and it is bothering me and is eating at me, is the fact that Turning Point will not release the footage. Okay. I don't understand it. Every excuse that I have been handed for why they won't release it makes no sense to me. If you are under pressure, if people are starting to look at you funny as an organization, if they're thinking that whether rightfully or wrongfully, if they are suspecting because they see this footage of someone quickly remove the SD cards that you guys had something to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and you quite literally have footage that in theory should vindicate yourself, why wouldn't you release it? Think about that. It's just in your own capacity. If somebody is saying you are guilty of anything, if they're like, Candace, you are absolutely guilty of breaking into my car. And I'm like, I have a camera right here that shows that I did not break into your car. Would it make sense if I was like, but I'm not going to release that? I'm not going to release that because it's not right. It's not right for me to release. What? It makes no sense. I don't understand why they would not release this. The idea that it's because, well, the feds are saying the feds cannot arrest you. Last I checked, the feds cannot bring charges against you for releasing footage that you own. And since when do we trust the feds? Certainly Charlie didn't. He didn't believe we were getting the truth about the Epstein files and things of that nature. So I don't accept that. That said, I also want to be clear that it doesn't mean that every single person that is continuing on in the organization is guilty of murder. I mean, I think we want answers, but we shouldn't be like, this person's definitely a murderer because they're not providing the answers. I've been speaking and I've been seeing a lot of vitriol that's been thrown at Andrew Colvette's way because he is doing press. He is carrying on Charlie Kirk's show. He was already seated on Charlie Kirk's show. He was already there. And I was being genuine when I said, he's under a lot of pressure. There's no question. He's the spokesperson for Turning Point USA, and he's grieving somebody that he knows and who was a very close, if not one of his best friends. He saw every day doing the Charlie Kirk show, and he's still got to deal with the same donors that Charlie was dealing with. I mean, it's a lot going on, And until we
thinks he's a lapdog
have all the facts in front of us, until we actually see the footage, I think we should be careful in just thinking that everybody is guilty of something. I want you guys to also, though, be conscious of the lies that we are being told by the federal government, because that feels extremely guilty to me. We haven't received any updates whatsoever on the raid that took place of Lance's house where Tyler Robinson was living at the time of this crime. No update whatsoever on Lance. You know, he just completely fell to the wayside. So forget it. Forget asking any questions about Lance. And my instinct has always been that the feds injected themselves immediately into this case because they were staging a cover-up. And now I feel as though we can almost establish that as a fact when I tell you something else that happened here.
By the way, Bryce, I'm demonetized. I'm just going to Candace because to me, she's the clearest way to the truth. And I'm going to continue to cover it so we can get the truth. And I'm going to continue to say what's right. I'm demonetized. If I didn't care at all, I wouldn't be on here. But I still care about the truth. I mean, so you can stop at that. We need 25 more likes, guys. We will be at 300. Then we broke our record. Much love to anything after that's a blessing. I love you guys. Jesus is king. Thank you guys for being here. I'm very grateful. You know, you guys are what make me go every day. Join the See Me Now movement, man. Hit the subscribe button on the road to 10,000 subs. I love you guys. I'll shut up.
My next point. So as you know, I have been positively obsessed with who killed Charlie Kirk because he was my friend. He was actually my friend. Everyone else who can eulogize all they want. Some of it felt a little cheap and fake and gay. But for me, this is real. So I had been hunting down all of the videos, all of the footage, and wanted to go back to ground zero, as we did yesterday, of the initial videos that went viral on social media and on X on the day that Charlie was assassinated. And it occurred to me that I forgot about one video. Actually, the only video that exists of the shooter sprinting across the rooftop a mere seconds after the shot was fired. Now, you probably recall that video in the back of your mind. You remember that video that was going viral of him seen running across the roof. Well, I'm about to show it to you in a much clearer quality than you have ever seen it, a higher quality than you have ever seen that video. Remember, before I show it to you, just to tee this up, it is just a couple of seconds after the sound of a shot rang out. Let's watch this together. And we're going to just cover that. It kind of looks like he's got something trailing behind him too. Maybe that's the towel that we've been told about. We can play that again as you watch this. Now, let me tell you how I tracked down this footage. It took me all of 2 hours to track down this footage, to get the name of the person who had filmed the footage. And from there, after messaging someone on Twitter, they said, I got the footage from this person. This is the person that shot it. And he's willing to speak to you. I get in touch with this individual. Okay. Very quickly. It was all transpired in a couple of hours. And you will never guess what it is that he told me. He told me that neither the feds nor the local police had ever reached out to him. Never. I'm sorry, what? You have one of two people who have a recording of the shooter at all, right? At all. And the feds were simply not interested.
Cat keeps trying to attack
as they were.
Man. Come on, 5 more likes. I appreciate you guys. I'm dealing with
of reaching out to the individual who had footage of him running across the roof. How could that be? Why? Why would that be? Somebody explain to me. Make it make sense for me. Maybe in the fog and the chaos, sure. But at no point did they go, hey, I see this really grainy image that's gone viral on Twitter. Maybe I should reach out to the person that made it go viral and see if I can track down that person so I can get clear data, meaning the metadata that exists, which will tell you the exact second that the person was running to make sure it lines up with my federal timeline that I must be creating. If little old Candace is doing it, then I'm sure the feds at the top are definitely creating a second-by-second timeline just like I am. But no, they never reached out to him. Now I'll tell you what else I discovered, because a lot is going on.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you for the 300 likes. I will now shut up for the rest of the stream. Anything above 300 is just a blessing. Like I said, the feeling grateful and gratitude is the best feeling in the world. Thank you guys for showing so much love and support. Now let's finish the stream. I love you guys. Everybody in here, double tap that screen. Hit the subscribe button, man. Join the See Me Now movement. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. I love you guys. I'll shut up.
And we similarly, by the way, reached out to the person who shot the footage and said, somebody is on the roof. We spoke about that earlier this week. He told us the exact same thing. He says he walked in and gave the footage to the Orem Police Department. Okay. Nobody, and they said, we were overwhelmed on that day one, which makes sense. Everybody contacting, calling, someone says, I have this. So it makes sense that he would be on the offense and getting them the footage. But the feds never reached out to him until the 15th. After Governor Cox said the investigation was over and they had the guy, the feds reached out to him and said, hey, you're the one who shot that footage. Yeah. Did you make a police report? He said, yeah, I did. And, oh, really? We didn't know that. What do you mean you didn't know that? That this is the first time the federal government on the 15th decided to reach out to the other person who saw the person climbing the roof? I saw the person getting into the shooting position. You never reached out to him until September 15th? Yeah, my friends, that looks to me like a cover-up. Not like you're trying to get to the bottom of something. Not with the amount of money that the feds have. You can't tell me that they did not reach out to these two individuals. It makes entirely no sense. There's another piece of this that is getting quite interesting. And I will say that this next piece that I have is in large part thanks to a multitude of leaks that are coming out of Turning Point USA. Now, right away, you might ask, why is that happening? Well, I can tell you in my experience, political organizations sometimes don't recognize that they are not like corporate organizations. And what I mean by that is not whether or not the organization is a corporate, but rather sometimes they get the wrong idea that they can sort of do things that people can do on Wall Street, right? Like if a CEO steps down from Wendy's, you can just replace that person as another CEO and nobody cares. If you're buying chicken nuggets from Wendy's, you don't really care who the CEO is. Doesn't really work like that with political organizations, right? When it comes to politics, people get behind someone because they believe in that individual's ideas, right? You can't just play a swapsy all the time or think it's just going to go on and you're still going to have that same energy behind you. And so obviously this is a terrible situation and Charlie is gone, but with people not getting answers, right? With people that are working at Turning Point USA not feeling like, okay, are we as an organization fighting? Are we going to speak about the things that Charlie cared about? Are we going to call out the things that we feel are wrong here? They're not wanting to get behind that. They feel that the organization is now being motivated just by money and that this company's priorities have somewhat shifted and that really how people on the outside that are looking in are going, what's going on here? Why are people not more rattled by the lies that are being told? Actually, I think if Charlie were here, he'd be talking about the weird things that were being told about this story, right? Ironically. And so many people have reached out and they spoke about the finances at Turning Point USA. And, I'm not exactly a forensic accountant, but I know that other journalists got really interested in this angle who were similarly receiving leaks and have pushed this off to forensic accountants. And some of the stuff is getting very interesting. But I did want to show you guys this because I think this proves what we have been hearing. It's at least a starting point. An insider who said that they were there and present when Charlie had expressed some concerns about where the money was going. And leading up to that moment, Charlie had by and large completely removed himself outside of the organ of fundraising, which is to say that it wasn't something that he necessarily had his finger on. Of course, he always would show up for top donor meetings. He is the face of the company. But in terms of the accounting specifics, he trusted his lieutenants. Of course, something that big, you're clearing $100 million a year, you got to have lieutenants and you have to trust those lieutenants. And of course, sometimes those leaders don't like one another. That's all normal. But then there arrived a moment when Charlie felt that the money was disappearing. Allegedly, I'll say allegedly here, but I think we have some proof that shows that. And the excuses that he was being given for the money disappearing wasn't adding up for Charlie. Said another way, the math wasn't mathing, okay? He felt that, again, according to sources, that the company was burning through cash too quickly. And Charlie set about finding out why and how this was happening. So on September 2nd, which is, of course, just 1 week before he lost his life, Charlie surprised the company by announcing that he was putting together a Doge department. Yes, a department of government efficiency like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy had set out to do. Trump won. They got behind him, right? They said, hey, There's a lot of pork. We don't know where this money is going. People are just accepting checks. Again, this is the whole purpose of the Department of Doge. You put us in there and we're going to figure out how all of these bureaucrats are just wasting tax dollars. Really kind of a nice way of saying we're going to conduct an audit of the government, right? That's the only way to look at what Doge was. It's an audit, and then you cut the fat and you see where the money's actually going. Don't listen to me, by the way, because we can read Charlie in his own words. This was a internal memo that went out, signed off by Charlie on September 2nd. I'm going to skip to the relevant portions. He's first and foremost announcing that Dear Team America, effective immediately. Again, September 2nd, Justin Strife is taking on a new elevated role with Turning Point USA as its COO. Since joining TPUSA in 2020, Justin has led Turning Point's fundraising division and in more recent years has been involved in some organizational operations, filling the COO role in many ways, but now officially taking on the title and expanded responsibilities. Now we're going to jump to that last big paragraph. In this role, I have empowered Justin, among other priorities, to engage in an organizational-wide Doge effort. Justin will be assembling a small team to assist in this effort, which is focused on Turning Point USA, 1, becoming more efficient, 2, becoming more cost-effective, 3, unifying organizational success around company-wide metrics and goals, and 4, reshaping company culture. I expect many positive changes to come from this forthcoming initiative and Justin's expanded role. Please join me in congratulating Justin on this new role with the organization. So I felt that with all of the rumors that I'm hearing, to see that Charlie was essentially putting together a small team to begin looking at money and ways to be more quote unquote efficient, it's looking like that's relevant, that all of these tips that we are receiving from insiders is accurate. And what we're understanding is that there were a lot of contractors and people essentially who were taking money both ways, who were bringing in money and cutting deals. Said simply, the money was looking funny, okay? And Charlie set out to determine why, which means that others should maybe set out to determine why. Is this department still going? And like I said to you, others are setting out to determine why. There are journalists, forensic accountants that have been hired, and what I have been shown, the preliminary findings are quite astonishing, okay? And I will say this, my sources at Turning Point said something that I found to be crucial, interesting. They said that Charlie wasn't just concerned about where the money was going, but also where the money was coming from. Where the money was coming from. What are we to make of that? Okay? What are we to make of that? What does that mean? Either speaking about companies that were kind of flooding the zone with money so that they could have more influence, but they had questions about those companies.
I appreciate
it. Sounds like there were people who were effectively double agents, making money on commissions on both sides of a contract. I've seen a lot, and I'm going to allow the reports to come out next week, that people who have really seized upon that and are looking at things. And I think a lot's going to be revealed, like I said, as it should. We want to know everything. We want to know absolutely everything. I'm going to tell you guys a bit more, as well as responding to a lot of what I think are just unfair criticisms of people that are attacking Erica. And I'll tell you why I feel that those criticisms are unfair. But first, I want to throw it to Riverbend Ranch. I told you I met the CEO of this company when I was with Charlie years ago, and we went out to meet him. Wonderful person. Everyone wanted to do something to try and heal. Remember Charlie, and my friends at Riverbend Ranch put together the following tribute to honor him.
We pay tribute to Charlie Kirk, and we celebrate the tremendous good he did in his life. Charlie courageously advocated for the sacred principles of freedom, constructive discourse, truth, family values, and common sense. He taught with humor and wisdom, and backed up his beliefs with data and facts. He set a powerful example of reaching out and talking to those who disagreed with him. We mourn his passing, but what he taught us continues to resonate with even more power.
A message from all of us at Riverbend.
PDSdebt.com/Candace, PDSdebt.com/Candace. Okay, I want to at first address, because I've received so many emails. Candace, have you seen this? Have you watched this? And it is Range Day Bro on YouTube. And the video is just absolutely viral. It's got 6 million views. And by the way, I am so happy that it's got 6 million views. Everybody investigating this is exactly what we need. And nobody is going to be perfect. We're going to get things wrong. And we can only work with the information that's been given to us. And for whatever reason, it's very limited. So every time anything that I'm debunking here is just because I want to help focus his investigation. But so he presents an argument that you can see a muzzle flash. And there is one element of his video where he shows what he believes to be blood splatter as an entry point on Charlie's neck. So we can watch that, take a listen.
And in that video, you can see the same, what appears to be the bullet coming down, and it does line up with the actual gunshot itself. So we're not counting gang violence. Great.
So this video was created by a friend of mine who is a Marine. You'll see him here at the end. This is the angle he is showing the shot coming from, showing where Charlie was sitting and the angle of the shot, which will correspond with this video here, which unfortunately we will blur out Charlie's face, but we will show what is necessary to prove that this was an entry and exit wound. So you'll see him circle the highlighted area right there, and you'll see the exit wound corresponding after, a split second after, as it would from an entry and exit wound. So in this footage, you can clearly see that Charlie is shot from his back right, and there's blood splatter coming out of the entry wound.
Okay. So what I can immediately help with, because I have so much footage and clearer footage of that, is that's actually not blood splatter. And I was very surprised by this. It's his neck.
See, to me, she's about to say it's this necklace. Well, if you have the footage and you said why not release it to the person that gave it to you? People are coming out with these theories, and you're already opening the can of worms. Why not just release the footage from behind him then, Candace, if you have it? That's the only thing I have to say. I mean, his necklace, I can't remember if I seen a necklace on him when I see him walking up to the campus. I'll have to look at it. But it's like, why not release it so we can see it then? I mean, we're all curious about the video footage from behind him, right? But I'll digress. I'll be quiet. Make sure you guys double tap that screen, man. Show some love and support. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. God bless you guys. Jesus King.
Necklace. That is his necklace. And it was one of the things that struck me as odd. And I saw the back footage, and then I have clear footage from the front, and the necklace goes first. And if I'm looking at it, it looks like
I'm not saying she would lie. I'm just saying if it gets to the point, she should just release the video footage from behind him then. I mean, she's already freaking releasing text messages and all this other stuff. If we want to come down to the complete truth, we may as well just put it all out there. Something that our government and FBI does not want to do, I guess.
From here, and then it comes up and it whips up. That is Charlie's necklace chain. So I hope that sort of helps focus that. And I don't know if that helps change your opinion at all, but I wanted to add that. The second thing is I wanted to show you a photo, a different angle of where that flash that he is looking at came from. Because the thing that I don't understand is that particular window doesn't open. So if you're saying it's inside, and I might be wrong, so you can see, and I hope I have this right. If I'm wrong, please let me know, and I will adjust it immediately. But that window is from that zone, which they call like the flag hall, which is where that person actually shot the footage. He's on the other side of it, where we saw the person running across the roof. That's basically above the underpass. And so you can see.
I know Trumpist, but she just literally said 30 seconds ago that she has the footage. Does she not just say that? I'm not questioning her. I'm not saying that she's doing anything wrong. I'm just saying that, if she has the footage and she just said it, or maybe I mistook it, maybe it should be released at some point. But I agree with you. And yeah, I don't think that would be able to be open anyway. I've seen the video. You can see the flash right when the gunshot goes off. It is what it is. But if I mistook her, my bad. I'm trying to make food. I'm on my lunch, but my bad. Like I said, I'm not saying anything bad or wrong. I just love you guys. Much love for all the people who are showing love and being here. I'm sorry if I got something wrong, but I'm just, just giving my little inquiry on it, because it does seem like that the wound that was here, it definitely was an exit wound, because that's what would bleed right away. So we got to figure out where the actual gunshot's coming from, allegedly, right?
From this angle, that those windows, I don't know if we have a more forward picture of that, Skylar. If we don't, it's okay. But from everything that I could see, those windows don't open. So if it's coming from inside, if that's where you're saying, and I had that location correctly, again, I'm happy to update this if I'm wrong, then we should see broken glass. So let me know if I'm right about that. I will say there was another piece, and this part I have not been able to debunk, but I am sending someone there to get me similar footage, which is when you discuss a suspicious looking bush. So I will let Range Day Bro present that theory. Take a listen.
I want to take a look at this photo next. This guy's talking about this bush up here in the top left of this photo, and he zooms in on it, and he's stating that it does look suspicious. It does look suspicious. It looks like there is a person right here, and it looks like there is a rifle right here that the person is holding. A hand here, support hand. Just so you know, every single expert has said that the wound we've seen on camera definitely seems like an exit wound. And not only that, but the medical examiner saying that he had bones of steel, that the bullet hit him and bounced back up and flew around and was found right inside the wound. I mean, it all just sounds crazy. Like we said, none of us know the truth. I'm just saying what I think. This is all my thoughts. We don't have to agree. That's why we have dialogue in the comments. I read them and we chill. That's my point of being here. We're a family. That's why when I say join the See Me Now family, that's what I mean. Join the See Me Now family. Show some love and support. Double tap the screen. I always love to be, proved wrong and all the other stuff. And again, if you don't like hearing me talk on my own channel, go somewhere else. I really don't care. This is my channel. So bye. Anyways, love you guys. Sort of very blurry image, but you can clearly make out that this is not just a bush. This is a human skin tone right here. And this correlates with a human head and hair and a rifle in the exact kind of crucifix shape of an AR-15 with an optic on it mounted up.
So what I can say, and I'm looking at my minute-to-minute text messages because I sent somebody there on the ground to get me pictures of that bush today, and I agree with you. In the smaller, in the photos that I'm looking at today, the bush, you can kind of see through it. And in the image that you have, granted, it is grainy. It doesn't seem like you can see through it. So I am interested in that, and I am prodding that narrative, and I will let you know what I come up with. Anyways, again, the point of me doing that was just to help further direct your theories. Everybody is coming out with ideas, and I think that's great. Until the feds answer our questions, until we see more footage of what took place that day, all of us need to stay on top of it because we all sense that something is very wrong and we are not getting the truth. One more thing that I'd like to share with you guys. You will recall yesterday during the comment section, we got a tip, a young woman that said that doorbell footage was intentionally presented to the public only partially. And that the reality is that there was more footage which showed the person that they allege is Tyler Robinson walking with a woman who they don't know who that is, and that he changes clothes. So I'm not sure if there was more footage on the side of the house. There's another angle, but there was allegedly footage of Tyler changing clothes, and he is with an unidentified woman. What I will say is I have established connection with that individual, and it's a solid lead, and it's only going to get more interesting in terms of who is involved in that cover-up locally, like a Utah person involved in that cover-up, which is another piece of this puzzle that I find to be.
Amen. God does speak to everybody. Jesus is king. I just had to say, I love how you guys are talking about God in the chat. We need to bring Christianity back, Catholicism back. I love you guys. Double tap that screen, man. Show some love and support. You guys got me for another 25 minutes, and I gotta go. Much love, guys.
Fascinating. I will have more for you guys next week as we continue this. I always want to make sure that we give people an opportunity to respond and to answer what it is that we are putting out there and making sure that our reports are accurate. And I will have more for you on that next week. I do also want to address people who are inundating me speaking about Erica Kirk. And I think the reason why this was catalyzed was because of a fundraising email and text messages went out, and people found it to be distasteful and like a fundraising off of his death. Okay, first and foremost, the reason why I said, and I meant it genuinely, was to pray for Erica a couple of days ago. And I said she is stepping into a role as CEO and the chairman of a company that got bigger than Charlie by everything that I am understanding, and just having been there, I saw it happening, and a company that she's going to have to learn in 4 seconds how this whole thing's where it is a machine. Okay. Those emails that you saw or that was not written by Erica Kirk. That will be an entire department. And these are emails when you fundraise. I've had fundraising emails go out with my face and my name on them. They are not authored by Erica Kirk. And I want you guys to know that, right? I just think it's like, I don't know, it just feels so unfair to me to assign the amount of pressure that is on her right now. She has not come out and said anything to me that makes her suspicious, because I understand how that organ works. And I understand how people, when they are motivated by money, how they don't even think about these things. It can be so gross. I mean, I have really gotten into arguments with people when I felt that they were using my face and representing things. And I was.
Whether you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you're white, you're black, you're brown, doesn't matter. In this day and age, we should just unite. There's too much division. I'm sick and tired of seeing in the chat, I don't believe in your God. That's fine. I could still have a beer with you. If you don't believe in my God, that's completely fine. I want unity. That's why I preach on this channel, is unity. Whether you believe in Allah or you believe in Jesus and whatever, doesn't matter. We should stop being divided. We need to come together as humanity. Humans ourselves are breaking apart humanity and wrecking us completely. The parasites in our community, every community around the world, are wrecking us. You want what they're doing? They're making a reaction. That reaction is all of us are fighting against each other. When in reality, we should all have, I seen one comment said, common sense. Common sense is, no matter what religion or skin color, we should always be united. The division's got to stop. A country who is divided is the easiest country to conquer. And so that's why on this channel I preach every single time that we need to unite. Whether you're Muslim, you're Christian, black, white, brown, really doesn't matter. Chinese, Japanese, Portuguese, I really do not care. We all need to unite. And so, you know, at the end of the day, whether you believe in Allah, you believe in Jesus, you believe in nobody, it doesn't matter. We all need to unite. Because regardless of what religion we believe, we are all humans on this earth together. And the division is just going to lead to an end of humanity. We need to be united. We got to remember, we are all humans on this earth together, regardless of what religion, skin color, anything. Don't let them divide you by giving you these things that, you know, make us feel like we should be divided. What we should remember first is we're all humans. Religion, after that, all comes second. But regardless, we should never be divided. We should always love our fellow man, love our fellow, you know, whoever, love anybody. We should always be united, because at the end of the day, it's these parasites who are radicalized, who want to be violent, who are destroying our nations, destroying our countries, destroying our communities. I have many friends of many different religions. I have atheist friends, all that. But the common thing that we have is we're all humans on this earth. So God bless every single one of you guys. It does not matter what anyone says. If you were a person in front of me right now, I'd accept you. That's how we all have to think. We are all humans on this earth. We all need to be accepting and unite and have common sense that this violence, this radicalism, the terrorism all needs to stop. We need to unite. I love you guys. God bless. Double tap. Hit the subscribe button.
Getting pushback from the public. And I'm like, I would have never done this. I would have never made that decision. And yet I'm going to be the person that gets all the flack for the decision that you made. I've had those arguments. And so when I see this go out, irrespective of how you feel, you should know that those decisions are not made by Erica. That's what it means to step into a company of that size and that scale. Okay. Their focus is going to be something different. And she has had, I think, a tremendous amount of grace in the speech that she gave, which I felt was very inspiring. And we should similarly have grace, give her time to get her, first and foremost, the adjustment in her life. She is a mother, first and foremost, right? This is what she was doing. She was a mom, and Charlie was on the road. And these were Charlie's concerns. You know, men carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, and they were following that. This was a faithful couple. This is a woman who consulted a priest and prayed when she felt that somebody had put a hex on her husband. And I just think everyone is being a little unfair by trying to assign so much ill will towards someone who hasn't done anything to warrant that. And I would have been the first person. If I felt that anything was there, I would have said something. Truly, in every capacity. And of course, I'm not in their marriage, but I know that Charlie was very happy with Erica. And I know that Erica was a reason. She was, pushing Charlie, as women do, to really think through his ideas and think through what it was that he believed in one way or the other. And by and large, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I had this relationship that I had with Charlie, that I had with Erica, of course, because neither he or I were married when we were hitting the road together. But she made him happy. And I just want you guys to know that. And so when you're putting stuff out.
No, what she's saying is that Erica's taking over the CEO position, but she's going to have other people writing out letters for her, writing out statements for her and all this other stuff because she can't do it herself. She may be stepping in as a CEO, but that doesn't mean that she's controlling what's being put out by TPUSA. That's what she's saying. I mean, come on, have critical thinking here. Seriously. Double tap that screen, guys. 25 more likes to 400. I love you. You guys got about 10 more minutes with me.
There, just imagine that you're in her shoes. Imagine the size and the scale of that company. And imagine that on top of everything, you've got people that are digging into every layer of your life and not necessarily getting everything right. I can't stop reading conspiracies about me and my husband. I've read that my husband is Jewish. I've read that my husband is a Freemason. I read that our marriage is fake and staged. And I've read that I'm funded by Russia. I'm funded by Qatar. I'm funded by Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate is also from the UK. And my husband knew him before he met me, which means absolutely nothing. I mean, it never stops. And to be thrown into fame.
You guys have to understand that TPUSA is a powerhouse, over 1,000 employees. If she steps in as CEO, that doesn't mean that she oversees everything exactly. She's going to have advisors. She's going to have people controlling her outlook on things. You guys really have to know how this stuff works. I mean, seriously, it is getting scary, Mitch. I mean, seriously, you guys have to really look into things and know how businesses work. Yeah, she can oversee things, but sometimes when you become the CEO, your eyes are what your advisors bring you. Sometimes you're so busy, you only know what you're told by your people. You get what I'm saying? So we got to pray and hope that she's a person that can look outside of that and have her own mind and be strong, which I pray for her that she can do that, because she's very strong to step into the position she's in. Period. But it is a powerhouse organization. I love you guys. 24 more likes. I love you guys. Let's go.
I think is very difficult when you're not pursuing it yourself, and to be thrown in such a horrific way, it just can't be fun. So I'm just reminding us all to just have a little bit of grace is all. Anyways, you guys, before I get into more of your comments, I want to tell you about Just Thrive, because the biggest health secret that is not one in the supply or epitome of truth. You know, I'm the epitome of truth would be Jesus Christ, but I will say that following truth it's an ugly business. It really is. And the vultures have absolutely come out. I mean, it is just such a crazy thing to make me guilty of investigating Charlie's murder. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you investigate this? Because everybody's lying and we're not going to allow it. How about that? How about we're just not going to allow everyone to lie? Curated Journey writes, thank you, Candace, for the work that you have put into telling us the truth. How do you deal with all these people that are trying to lie about the friendship that you have with Charlie and do everything that they can to turn the people against you through the media? God bless you. I just know that it's a ticking time bomb, right? Before they're all exposed. And I think a financial audit is interesting. I think there were a lot of pastors that were around Charlie who weren't exactly honest about whether or not they were financially motivated to say some certain things. You know, a lot of these organizations that are like Christian and Jews organizations, funds that are coming together have been interesting. You know, Operation Mocking Pastor is a real thing. And I know that at the end of the day, my hands are clean. My hands are absolutely clean. And so I don't care about people that are lying, because a lie always has to sprint, right? A lie always has to sprint. And it's because it's fearful. It's very afraid, because people only have to hear the truth once to know that it is the truth. They have to hear the lie over and over. It begs repetition, a lie, but the truth doesn't care. And I am on the side of truth. So there's that. And also because my relationship with Charlie was real, actually. A shout out to Taylor Lorenz. I obviously didn't watch what everybody else was saying about Charlie after his assassination, because I was absolutely wrecked. It was a very tough week for me. And I didn't even feel motivated to get out of bed. And but Taylor Lorenz said, she's like, why do I feel like Candace is the only one? I think she said this on X. I don't know if we have that tweet. I didn't ask you to pull it, but like, she did say, why do I feel like Candace is the only one that actually cared about Charlie? And she's the only tribute, because I mean, like, that's the reality of politics. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's a disgusting business. And Charlie had a better stomach for it than I did. That's the reality. She wrote, Taylor Lorenz, it's wild that Candace is the only right-wing figure that I've seen posting in a way where she seems genuinely devastated to lose Charlie as a friend. And it's because you can't fake it. And a lot of people are faking it right now. And it's difficult for me to process, which I have not, that he is actually gone. Like, that doesn't feel real to me yet, but I know I will get to that stage eventually. James Moran writes, greetings from across the pond in Ireland, Candace, and keep up the great work. God bless. Thank you, James. Renee writes, have you covered the Amazon listing from September 9th for a book about Charlie with all the details, which were pretty accurate, of what happened on the 10th? I have a picture of a screenshot supposedly verified. Yeah, I think Amazon came out and said that it was a technical error, because I guess you can adjust the dates. To be honest with you, I didn't look into it because there's 1,000 ways that you could run with this. And I wanted to keep the pressure on the feds, and I wanted to keep the pressure on getting as much information as I could about what took place on that day. But I know there are people that have made a lot of videos about that, and so maybe I'll watch one of those. Bree Barrera writes, so glad that I caught you live today. I work nights, so I never wake up early enough, but I wanted to let you know that I found you 2 years ago through Charlie Kirk, and you changed my life. Keep doing what you're doing. I love you. Reality is, Charlie changed my life. He really did. And I can't think about being in politics without Charlie. So that's why it feels like I have to accept that a piece of my life died, like years of my life died with him a little bit. And he was like one of the only like 2 people in politics that I can even stand, because he was a straight shooter with me. Thistle writes, I wanted to ask your thoughts about the fact that, quote unquote, notes on bullets have been everywhere while our representatives are signing the bombs they drop on innocent people. Just a thought. Thank you. Yeah, it does seem to bear their signature.
That's why our representatives
like
going
Nikki
over
Haley signing
bombs.
bombs. People going over there signed bombs that are going to be dropped and killing children. And
it's crazy.
So yeah, it's been a weird new thing that everyone's doing, which is strange and it feels very forced and fake to me. Totally agree.
Kids.
Dave Matthews writes, what would you do if there was another video footage of someone else on the rooftop? Would you take it? Thank you for all that you do, praying for your family, praying for the Kirks. What do you mean? Would I take it? I want the truth. I don't why I'm not. If you're suggesting that you have the footage, please send it. You can send it to us, tips@CandaceOwens.com. You're inundated, guys. So please, if you can, just if you're sending us a tip, hopefully it's related to this investigation. Tips like, have you seen this video, or YouTube, whatever? That's best reserved for like commenting on our Instagram and our social media pages. We'll see it there. The tips line we want to keep for actual tips related to this investigation, not because I'm not so grateful that you guys are writing all these emails, but our tips inbox is getting so full that it's taking us a lot of time to go through it. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to filter so we know where to look for, hey, have you seen this video, versus, hey, we have an actual tip related to this investigation. Ben Auten writes, your interview with Charlie Kirk on PragerU showed up on my YouTube algorithm. It's great to watch it again. Also, does anyone else find etchings on the bullet casings conveniently found at all of the occurrences of violent crimes lately quite suspicious? Indeed, Ben, indeed. You and Thistle both agree that is very suspect. It's like I said, it's starting to feel like a government signature a little bit, right? Miranda New writes, the anger and hate towards Erica is insane. She's a beacon of light in this dark world, as are you, Candace. I assume Erica also thinks all of this is weird too, or she would have stopped you by now. All love. That is correct. Erica has my number. Erica actually recently started following me. It was another thing that they were like, Candace doesn't even follow Charlie. Yeah, because I unfollowed everyone, but I announced my book, Blackout. I wanted to make it like a cool thing. I unfollowed everybody. And then I didn't start refollowing people on all my social media pages. You will realize I'm like the only person you know that follows very few people, because I realized that I was engaging in social media in a way where I was hearing everybody else's ideas as opposed to sharing my own. And so it's just like the ridiculous angles that they've taken. But anyways, yeah, I have always been very clear. And that's another thing. If Erica was like, don't say anything, or if she lied about anything publicly, if she was like, no, Charlie like wasn't attending mass, like I would be like, okay, this is a little weird. Why is she massaging? But she's not doing that. So I just feel that it's unfair. And people that are not used to constantly being on stage and presenting like Charlie was, like that he had the it factor, you know, Charlie get up there,
16 more likes,
the room was alive. And now we're judging the people that he loved in his life who don't do that for a living. And I just really just feels to me like it's unfair. So I wanted to express that and just say that. And yeah, anyways, Next week, we will not be on air tomorrow because last week was a rare Friday and I like to have my Fridays off. But next week, we will continue in earnest. Again, if you have something pertaining to the investigation, you were there, you're a police officer, you're a federal, you're in the government, you're a Fed, and you are watching this and you know that what I'm saying is true, please email us tips@CandaceOwens.com. If you guys would like to support us in any capacity, always can head to CandaceOwens.com, join the book club, learn about vaccines.
All right, guys, she's just going to be talking about her freaking clothing line. God bless you guys, man. I appreciate everybody for being in here today. Like I said, man, every single day during the week. I'm sorry I didn't go live for the past few days. I had a sick kid. My kids come first. Family comes first. This comes second. But I always try and bring you guys my time when I can. I am on my lunch. I always try and start by 1 o'clock my time. It is 2:40 my time. So I always try and give you guys a good, at least hour and a half, 2 hours of a good stream. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being in here. Regardless of left or right, black and white, brown, we need to unite. We need to quit being so divided. We need to get rid of the parasites who are dividing us. Us common-minded people know that we need to think together instead of thinking separate. It's so sad that we can't even go a day without people saying, are you left or right? We need to stop saying such stupid terms. I mean, left and right. What more dividing of a term can you come up with? Get on the left or get on the right. Why don't we all get in the middle, have a conversation, and figure stuff out? I love you guys so much. RIP Charlie Kirk. We're going to continue to keep up with this Candace saga because she seems to be going hard, unveiling the truth. A lot of people seem to be texting into her tips line. So we're going to continue to run it up. Much love to you guys. Like I said, October 3rd, I'll be speaking at the college. I'll be live streaming that in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. I'll be speaking at my community college, talk about how we can bring our community together, whether it's left, right, conservative or Republican, or conservative or Democrat. It does not matter. Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. I'm tired. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, if you guys want to join the movement, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. So hit the subscribe button, double tap that screen. Thank you guys for showing out today. So much love has been shown, and I just can't be any more grateful. Let's continue to run it up. I got a few videos coming out within the next few days, so watch out for those. And yeah, man, we need to start uniting. Because I guarantee you, if a lot of us got in a room together, we all just had a regular conversation, we'd all end up having a beer with each other and loving each other as friends and uniting. I think all this division is on purpose, and we need to stop it. So anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for stopping in. God bless every single one of you. I'm going to head back to work. And then I might be on later tonight. If I'm not, then I'll definitely be on tomorrow. But make sure you guys hit the notification bell so you can always know when I'm on. Come join the stream. Say what's up. Let's continue to go up. Let's continue to seek the truth and stop the division, man. I got kids. I don't want to leave them in a world where it's so divided, right? We need to end that. So I love you guys. God bless. If you didn't already, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. I'll see you guys later in another episode of the They See Me Now podcast. Just kidding. I love you guys. Deuces.